Yeah, and I also have to say this, that we're not saying that prayer never works. The fact is that when we are in trouble or when we have things that we don't know are going to happen to us, we can pray. Jesus says, ask and it shall be given you, seek and ye shall find, knock and it shall be opened unto you. Well, I remember I had two friends, two very close friends. One was a relative and the other was just my lifelong buddy, okay? And they both came down with cancer. And they asked me to pray for them. And I prayed for one, and God healed him. And I prayed for the other that I thought for sure God would heal him, and God did not heal him. The fact is, we don't know God's purposes in this, and it brings me to two questions, Erwin. Do we have to understand God's purposes before we pray, before we trust Him? And when is our faith most precious to God? And with that, I want to put a little story before you answer the questions, okay? When I was a little kid growing up, my grandmother, she was in her 90s, my grandfather was in his 80s, and he thought he would drop dead first, and it didn't happen that way. She died, and so I went to the funeral, and I was watching my grandfather, because he hardly talked at all, and the fact is, we were sitting in the church, and the casket was up at the front, and when everything was silent, all of a sudden, to my surprise and to everybody else's, he stood up, looked at the crowd, looked at the casket, and he said, though he kill me, yet will I trust him. And he sat down. And I never forgot that my whole life. Okay?
And of course, as you know, that's directly from the book of
That's
Job.
right.
Though you slay me, yet I will trust you. But now to your question. Our faith is most precious to God when we don't understand God's ways. When there is a great deal of mystery, even though He's given us so much evidence that He does love us and that He cares for us, especially as we see it on the cross. And there is a commentator who made the remark that God often hides in the dark, but not far away. So what we must do is to recognize that we don't have to understand all of God's ways. We get a glimpse of that in this life. We see through a glass darkly, but we don't understand God's ultimate purposes. But we believe that they exist.